This is my WWE Royal Rumble 2014 pay-per-view review. The pay-per-view off there. And as far as my thoughts of this year's Royal Rumble, I thought we saw an awesome match with Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. Was expecting it to be good, but not expecting the awesomeness that we saw. It was a great opener for the pay-per-view, definitely match of the night. We saw on the pre-show the tag team titles change hands with the New Age Outlaws becoming champions. I know some people might say they didn't need to be given the titles, but hey, the crowd loves them. They're still over to this day, and they're not going to keep the titles that long, so I didn't have any problem with them becoming tag team champions. Then on the pay-per-view, obviously I already gave my thoughts on the opener, which I thought was great with Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. The Rumble match, it was entertaining. It wasn't as good as some past years, but it had its moments. I mean, in the Rumble match, you saw some returns. You saw an appearance of Kevin Nash in there. You saw the return of Sheamus. Some people probably were a little disappointed that, like, some people that people were expecting to be in the Rumble. Now, most people should have known going into the Royal Rumble match that Daniel Bryan was not going to be in it. I know a lot of us would have loved to see him in it, but obviously he wasn't going to be a part of the match. So some people might have been disappointed that he wasn't involved in the match. Or a lot of people were expecting Chris Jericho to return. But we saw some good stuff in there. Obviously, predictable with Batista winning. Hopefully, we get something other than Batista and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Hopefully, something happens at Elimination Chamber where maybe Lesnar gets the title and they do Lesnar and Batista, but they probably won't do that considering they need to do Undertaker and Brock, which I do not want that to really get fucked up. So, unfortunately, we might have to see Brock Lesnar and Orton at WrestleMania. And if the crowd acts anything even somewhat like they did on tonight's pay-per-view, with Batista winning the Rumble, the crowd did not like that at all with Batista winning the Rumble. And during the WWE title match, the crowd hated that match, which they were justified hating the match because it was a bad match with Cena and Randy Orton. They've had some good matches in the past, but we've seen it millions of times. The crowds are, saying, please do not give this anymore, and they just shitted on that. And, the Big Show match with Lesnar was what it was. Let me get into the review. On the pre-show, you had the New Age Outlaws taking on Cody, Rhodes, and Goldust for the WWE Tag Team titles. Fairly good match for the pre-show. Wasn't extremely long. New Age Outlaws got in their stuff, and they end up winning the tag team titles after Billy Gunn hits the Famouser onto Cody Rhodes for him and Road Dogg to become the new tag team champions. Like I said, have no problem with them being champions, and anyone that is having a problem with it, they're not going to have the title for that long. So just get used to it. As far as the match, about 2.5 stars. Not a bad match for a pre-show match. And then the pay-per-view starts. The first match, you get Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. Was expecting this to be good, but not as good as what it turned out to be. Great stuff with both of them. Obviously WWE was thinking, at WrestleMania, they were obviously planning to do, not Daniel Bryan, but Bray Wyatt and Cena, and that was going to be like the big thing to get Bray Wyatt over, but Bray Wyatt got really over in this match with Daniel Bryan. Just great stuff from both of them. Good back and forth action. A lot of offense from both of them. Just really entertaining match. A lot of good spots in here. Daniel Bryan doing the Tornado DT, running off the apron and hitting it onto Bray Wyatt. Dive to the floor. Bray Wyatt getting in his moveset as well. And then Bray Wyatt ends up winning the match after hitting the second one of his finishers, Sister Abigail. He hits it outside of the ring first. Looks like they're going to be doing something, maybe it ending in a count out or something. Thankfully, they didn't do that. Then he gets him into the ring and then hits Sister Abigail again to finally finish the match. So Bray Wyatt wins the match. Great opener. 4 stars. Definitely is going to be a match that I think people are going to remember. Even though this is very early in the year, this is going to be a WWE match that people will remember the rest of this year. Definitely must-see match. One thing on the show I would recommend everyone to go out their way to see. Then the next matchup was Big Show versus Brock Lesnar. Big Show apparently hurt himself at a house show. He hurt his, I think, left hand. And they obviously, that was a part played into this match, making it shorter than probably what it was supposed to be. But it worked out. I mean, it wasn't a great match from these two, but it was what it was. I mean, it was a brawl from the beginning, which obviously the way it was built up with, Brock Lesnar basically getting demolished by Big Show recently on Raw, and Big Show looking really strong going into this, it had to be Brock Lesnar coming out there and just beating the shit out of Big Show. And that's exactly what this match was. Big Show did do some things in here, but not too much. It was more or less Brock Lesnar just manhandling him, punching him, hitting him with brutal chair shots. They did a long spot before the match even began, where before the bell even rang, they brawled before the match even got started. Then the match got started. Then Brock Lesnar ends up hitting the F5 to beat Big Show. Then post-match, this is obviously writing Big Show out of action for a little time here. Brock Lesnar gets the steel chair, a number of steel chairs, probably 3, 4, 5 steel chairs, keeps on hitting Big Show with them, going after his left hand. So obviously this is, writing Big Show out somewhat. Big Show doesn't get taken out on the stretcher like I thought they might have went with. He just gets, he basically, finally gets up and kind of helps to the back. That's how they end that right there. But as far as a Big Show and Lesnar match, you shouldn't have been expecting much more than what it was. So it at least did what it was supposed to be. It wasn't a great match, at least watchable. About 2 1/4, 2.5 stars. It was at least a watchable match, and for them to, it at least did what it was supposed to do. Then the next matchup was Randy Orton versus John Cena for the WWE title. This is a match we've seen millions and millions of times. Sometimes it has been good. In the past, some of their matches, even though they took on each other so many times, I have seen them take on each other before and have really, really entertaining matches. This was not one of them. The crowd, just because we've seen it so many times, the crowd was against the match from the get-go. I mean, they were chanting, Daniel Bryan, Y2J, boring, this match is awful. Just the crowd did not like this match, and I just really couldn't get into the match that much. I mean, it wasn't much of a match. Now, Orton and John Cena's credit, they did try to somewhat pick it up towards the end of the match, but that was just so late into the match that you're like, okay, just end this fucking match. And they finally did with Orton, not with Orton hitting the RKO after the Wyatt's music hits. The Wyatts come out there, distract Cena. Orton hits the RKO, and Orton retains the title. Obviously, this is building up Bray Wyatt and John Cena for WrestleMania, which should be something really good. I mean, that's a match right there. They want to push Bray Wyatt very strong, and that'd be a good match to put him up against John Cena at WrestleMania. And I can't wait to see, the next, month or two build before WrestleMania, and we see what they do with Bray Wyatt and John Cena. Hopefully at WrestleMania they have a great match, and I expect them to have a very good match at WrestleMania, and definitely something I'm looking forward to at WrestleMania when that does take place. Hopefully we don't see Orton and Batista, but we probably will. Then the next matchup was the Royal Rumble match, the 30-man over-the-top Battle Royal. I'm not going to go through all the eliminations. Basically, I'm just going to kind of give my thoughts on the match. Wasn't a bad Rumble match. I've seen much better ones, but it was at least good for what it was. The Rumble match is always something every single year. No matter what, always love it. I mean, it's one of those gimmick matches that never can get old to me. I just love, the whole thing of not knowing who's going to be coming out next and all the eliminations and, surprise returns, building stuff up to WrestleMania, people turning on one another and stuff like that. I mean, and they did stuff like that in this match. It started off with Punk obviously being number 1 and Rollins was number 2. Now, sometimes on Raw and SmackDown, when Punk and Rollins have been against each other, they have not really clicked. This was actually one time they somewhat did the best they've done so far in the Rumble against each other to start it off with. Then as far as the stuff you saw as somewhat surprises in the Royal Rumble, you saw one NXT performer in Alexander Rusev, which he's actually one big guy in NXT that I like. I actually like, the powerhouse style of his work, and he's good. And, you saw him in here, and he actually, got showcased fairly well in here. I can't remember if he got any eliminations in here, but he performed and got showcased pretty well. Kofi obviously had his very memorable spot in the match where you saw after Alexander Rusev gets eliminated, because then Kofi Kingston and him has been feuding on NXT. You see basically, Alexander Rusev slam Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston's feet hasn't hit the floor, slams him into the guard on the top of the guardrail, and then Kofi Kingston then gets up, runs across the guardrail, jumps to the ring. So that was his memorable spot in this Royal Rumble match. You saw Kevin Nash make an appearance. You saw the return of Sheamus at number 17. The most eliminations ever in this Royal Rumble, or at least I think tied, because I remember Nash had a pretty strong record as far as most eliminations as well, but they said Reigns as the most eliminations ever with 12 eliminations in here. You saw Goldust turn on Cody Rhodes in this match where he eliminated Cody Rhodes. So obviously with them no longer being tag champs, looks like we'll be getting Goldust and Cody Rhodes, a match that has been rumored probably for the last 2 years to possibly take place at WrestleMania. So it looks like we'll probably get Rhodes and Goldust at WrestleMania. It looks like we're going to be seeing the split up of the Shield, which is unfortunate. I would like to see them stick together, but WWE is really hot on Roman Reigns, so it doesn't really shock me. And what they did was Dean Ambrose tried to eliminate Roman Reigns. This is where it all started, with him trying to eliminate Roman Reigns. Then Reigns, while Rollins and Ambrose were trying to eliminate Antonio Cesaro, then you saw Reigns eliminate all three of them at once and throw them out. So that's how they eliminate them. Obviously, you saw, the big return of Batista, which was the big return of the night, obviously, and everyone knew that he would be the one to win this Rumble. As far as who were the final four led down to CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Sheamus, and Batista. CM Punk was eliminated in the worst fashion, but obviously it's leading up to something. CM Punk gets eliminated after Kane comes out of nowhere, comes up the steps, eliminates Punk, throws him over the top rope, and then Punk gets chokeslammed into a table. So you saw a table spot there. Obviously, this is leading up to CM Punk probably taking on Triple H at WrestleMania. And then the next elimination, you saw Sheamus get eliminated. So the final two were Roman Reigns and Batista. They went back and forth for not too long. I was expecting them to do a little more with each other, but they didn't. Batista then finally, eliminates Roman Reigns, and Batista is your Royal Rumble winner. The crowd did not like Batista winning, but I think everyone should have known going into this that, yeah, it was going to be a predictable winner with Batista winning, but hey, Batista is a big star, and it's probably good for business with him winning here. Just the only thing that I disagree that's right for business is doing him and Orton at Mania. It's something I know everyone doesn't want to see, and it'd be a bad thing to have main event. I would say I'm one of those people that always want the title match as the main event at WrestleMania, but if them two are in the title match, I would say if they're doing Brock Lesnar and Undertaker, you need to have Brock and Undertaker main event WrestleMania, because that's something that not only would it be a great match, but it would obviously be the better match to have main event your WrestleMania. As far as the show, I said there was good stuff on. The Rumble match was fairly exciting. I would give it, about 3.5 stars, maybe 3 1/4 stars. Wasn't the best one, but wasn't a bad one either. Saw a really good opener with Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. You saw the tag team titles change hands on the pre-show with New Age Outlaws becoming the tag team champions, and really the only things that were bad on the show were, the WWE title match. And I can't really say Big Show and Lesnar was bad, because it was what it was. We weren't going to get anything better, and we actually didn't get anything worse. So as far as the overall show, I probably give about 6.5, 6.75 out of 10. And that's it for my WWE Royal Rumble 2014 pay-per-view review. All right, peace.